Hello, welcome to another episode of the Rugged Homestead. I'm here in the garden, and as you can see, I'm making a mini hoop house. I got the idea from LDSPrepper with his Midlighter garden system, and just thought I'd show you how quick and simple it really is to make this PVC mini hoop house row cover. You can use it for a lot of different things, whether to protect the plants in the early spring from cold temperatures, or later on use it, put a sunshade over it, or even like a cloth to protect plants from moths and things like that. So let me show you what's involved. I'm making these hoops that'll go over the 18-inch wide garden bed. Normally these pipes back here would go on the outside of the grow box, the raised bed. But since I have my raised bed right up against my posts all along here, when I would put a cover over it, I wouldn't be able to really get behind it all that well. So I figured putting it on the inside like this, I'll be able to lay a brace right across the back edge of the raised bed, and that would prevent any cold air from coming in. And of course then it would drop over the side on this side. These pipes here are 3/4 inch 200 PVC. It's a thin wall PVC pipe. You cut these to 15 inches, and then 6 inches down you drill in a screw. So you hammer the 15-inch pipe into the ground, so it's about 9 inches into the ground, and then it's screwed into the side of the grow box. What the screw does is first attach it obviously to the raised bed, but it also serves as a stop for the PVC pipe that goes in there. So otherwise the pipe would just go all the way down. So now it sits in place there and doesn't go lower, and it makes a nice uniform hoop house that's the same size all the way along. So to make these arches, you need to make yourself a jig, a very simple jig. What I've got here is about a 3/8 inch piece of plywood, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, whatever you have is fine. What you want is it to be wider than the width of your raised bed. My raised bed from edge to edge is 21 inches. The planting area inside is 18 inches, so obviously 1.5 inches each for the sideboards. So 21 inches, so you want your board to be at least 21 inches wide, actually wider than that. This is about 26 inches. And the reason is because of the width of the PVC pipe that you're going to use. You'll need it to accommodate that width. So figure 24 to 26 inches width, and about at least the same height. So what you do is you find the center of the board. So that's right there, and you mark it. Doesn't matter what the width is, you just mark the center of the board. Then knowing the width of your raised bed and the dimensions that you need. Now mine, because mine is inside, normally you would take 21 inches and then you would divide it in half. Because mine is on the inside, I would have to take 19.5 inches and divide that in half, which comes to 9.5 inches. So from the center mark to either side, you mark 9.5 inches, and from here to here, 9.5 inches. From that, you make a mark straight down, and you go to 9 inches there. Same thing over here, 9 inches to here. At that 9-inch mark, you just draw a line straight down. It doesn't matter how far, good 2 feet or so. At the 9-inch mark, you go from that point to the center point at a diagonal, and from there to that 9 point at a diagonal, and draw lines. The next thing you're going to do is measure down from the top 2 inches on both sides, and where it intersects the angled lines that you drew, you're going to put a nail on either spot. What this is going to serve as the bend points for the PVC top. right here, that's where you're going to be bending the pipe. So that'll be right here. Also put in nails at the 9-inch marks on both sides, and then at about 2 feet down, drive another nail in on that long line that you went down. Approximately, it's not exact there. That's just to hold it in place after you've bent it. So what I did then, you take 1/2-inch PVC pipe, schedule 40. That pipe is 3/4 inch, 200. The hoop itself is 1/2-inch pipe, schedule 40 PVC. It's the thicker wall PVC. You cut this 1/2-inch PVC down to 5-foot lengths. And then, using the recommendation of LDSPrepper, he made a mark halfway from both ends. That's like the 30-inch mark on the opposite side of the lettering. That way, after it's bent, you can't see the lettering when it's in place. It just makes it look nicer, and I agree. So with the 30-inch mark, this is going to line up where your center line on your board is. So with your center mark, you line it up with the line that you made on the pipe, and then using a clamp, there we go, clamp it in place like that. That secures it, and I put another nail on either side up top just to kind of hold it in place, but I still use the clamp anyway. That way it just stops it from sliding side to side when you're doing the heating of it. With your PVC pipe clamped in place, you're going to want to use a heat gun, not a hair dryer, a heat gun, a 2-speed one. This one actually does hot and cold air. So what you do is you start heating up the PVC right at the nail mark, and you'll see once it softens up, and it only takes like 30 seconds, 20-30 seconds. Once it starts to soften up, you even have to touch it. It'll just start to sag itself, and then you can bend it down. You can see the PVC starting to move on its own. So we'll just keep going, and then we'll just press it down to help, but keep the heat on it. So once the PVC bends, you move it to the next mark, which is here, and then you start heating there. Now I'm not applying any pressure to the pipe with my fingers, just kind of like sitting out here on it and just waiting for it to soften up enough that it begins to give. And then you would press it down to that other nail that you put in at the 2-foot mark. Then what I do is I drove a second nail in over here, and that actually holds it in place for you. Now you just move over to this side and repeat the process. Now what I've done is I've just added them into the raised bed and let them set. But what you could also do is, if you had like a bucket of water nearby, you could just wipe off the PVC to cool it down, and it'll hold its shape that way. But I just take it off the jig so I can do another one. So just remove the clamp, and then you take the out of the jig, and then place it into the form. To the holder, it goes down, and on this side you put it in, and now it'll cool and it'll hold its shape. I'll show you on the first one. Take it out, and it retains the shape. What's good about this is that at the end of the fence down here, I can just hang these up during the season when they're not needed, keep them out of the way, but handy. As I said, you can change it out then to put a piece of plastic over the top to make a little mini greenhouse, put a shade cloth over the top, or even a cloth to keep out moths and bugs until the plants establish themselves. It's a quick, easy project and makes the garden look uniform, which I kind of like. So if you like videos like this, click the like button below and consider subscribing to the channel if you don't already do so. That way you'll be notified right away when videos like this are posted. And make sure you click on that little bell, and that'll give you an email alert as well. And also check out the blog, www.theruggedhomestead.blogspot.com, where I give weekly updates on ways I'm turning my home into a homestead. Okay, thanks for watching.